Pickle juice for period cramps?
Pickle juice, because of the salt and everything, it helps with like cramping muscles. I tried it and it works.
How can women be syncing their cycle to their everyday lifestyle?
Instead of having a daily battery, I like women to see it as like a monthly battery. I make the rules, and this is one of them. On your period, day 1, steak. If you got on birth control because you had irregular cycles, painful periods, that stuff's waiting for you, because all you did was put a Band-Aid and basically put a muzzle on it for however many years you were on birth control.
Today's episode might just save your relationship, your skin, your sanity, and your uterus. This is her 3rd time being on the show because she is one of the most popular guests I've ever had. The first 2 times were before the show was called Culture Apothecary. They were during the spillover days, but if you scroll back, you're gonna find them. We are joined today by Emily from Little Ray of Health on Instagram, your hormone bestie, cycle whisperer, and the creator of the Balance Babe Blueprint, an online course that's helped over 20,000 women balance their hormones, beat painful periods, and in many cases, get pregnant on purpose. She's here to take you from a period monster to a period unicorn. And trust me, if you've ever felt personally victimized by your PMS, wondered why you're crying at 3 p.m. and craving pickles and chocolate, or being totally confused about ovulation, fertility, or how to not get pregnant without the pill, this one is for you. We talk about what a healthy period should feel like, how to sync your cycle to your workouts, your meals, and mood, why women are more disconnected than ever from their bodies, and what it's costing us. Plus, how to ditch the cramps, the drama, and actually feel good in your body again. Watch this episode on the Real Alex Clark YouTube channel or Culture Apothecary on Spotify. Pause before we get started, leave a 5-star review for Emily and I, and discuss this episode in the Cute Servitors Facebook group. Please welcome my friend Emily, aka Little Ray of Health, to Culture Apothecary. Why is a girl having her period really a superpower and not a curse?
So your period and the phases of your cycle, which we'll get into, is basically like the cheat code, like the blueprint of your hormones and of your life as a woman. We go through seasons. There's so many ways that our hormones influence the way that we live, and so many ways that the way that we live influences our hormones. And so if you can kind of understand that and hack that and learn to work with your hormones and with essentially with your period, which sounds kind of crazy to kind of build your life around your period, I think it's the most beautiful way to live. I think it's the way that you honor God and like the way that we were created.
Do you think it's kind of a spiritual attack that women are so disconnected from their cycles?
100%. 100%. I think that if women understand the way that their hormones work and the way that their cycle works, it unlocks, like, I don't want to say like your true power as a woman, but honestly, like things feel easier. I feel like the way that the world is built right now, it's built for a man, it's built for like a 24-hour cycle. And if women are able to like live with the way that we were created, life becomes so much easier. And I feel like the way that the enemy uses it is like, again, like women live most of the month, like in pain with mood swings, like all of these things, which honestly, like the luteal phase does feel like one long spiritual attack. Like it is not fun. And the fact that it's the longest phase is like, not cool. But I just feel like it feels like a spiritual attack because it holds women back and it keeps you stuck and cursing, again, this cycle that you were born with that's actually so beautiful.
What should a normal period look and feel like?
It shouldn't really distress you and affect your daily life that much. Like growing up before, I balanced my hormones and I kind of healed, I would have to call out from work. I would have to like call home from school. I felt horrible, and that's not normal. We're told like, welcome to womanhood. Like this is just what it's like. This is the rest of your life. And it's just not true. A regular period should be 3 to 5 days. Ideally like around 3 or 4 of a full bleed. Obviously some women start like a little bit earlier spotting, which that's a sign of something else as well. So 3 to 5 days, you might have some light cramping, some discomfort. But it shouldn't be the reason you're like popping Tylenol or Advil or anything like that. You really should be able to go about your daily life and obviously be aware that something's happening, but you shouldn't be in a ton of pain. It shouldn't be super heavy. You shouldn't be changing your tampon or a pad every hour. Like that's absolutely not normal. And I feel like what we're told, at least from like my doctor and growing up, was like, oh no, that's just normal. And just because something is common doesn't make it normal.
How can women be syncing their cycle to their everyday lifestyle?
Okay, it sounds dramatic. And at first, it's hard to get a handle of just because it's so different than what we're used to. Again, like the world kind of works by a 24-hour male cycle. You wake up, you do the same things, you go to sleep. With a women's cycle and working with your phases, instead of having a daily battery, I like women to see it as like a monthly battery. And instead of like daily to-dos, it's monthly to-dos. So there's certain phases where you're more creative. For example, so first there's the menstrual phase, then you move into follicular. That's when you're the most creative. That's when you should brainstorm things, outline things, kind of map out your month ahead. And then you move into ovulation where you have the most energy. So this is the best time for like intense workouts. This is the best time for interviews. This is the best time for like front facing things. If you create content, if you are doing things like that, that's the best time. You have the most energy. You actually speak the most clearly. Both hemispheres of your brain are communicating the best during that time. So you're able to like advocate better and speak more clear. And then moving into the luteal phase, this is where you kind of want to wind down. This is essentially like the nesting phase. So if you think about our body always wants to get pregnant, like that's its goal. The monthly cycle is for that. So whether or not you're trying to get pregnant, you still need to kind of honor this system and this cycle. And so the luteal phase, you really need to like kind of pull back, slow down. This is when your body is like more susceptible to stress. Your stress threshold's much lower. And so you just kind of want to pull back and move slower, prepare for your period, and then you do it all over again. So like you can see there's these ebbs and flows of your hormones. When I first started, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to change my entire life. But it's really small tweaks. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. And when you feel the difference, that's what like keeps you convicted to keep going.
What are 5 things that every woman should know about her hormones?
1, birth control. If you're still on birth control, get off. But birth control doesn't regulate your cycle. It shuts down your hormones. It shuts down your natural cycle. The next thing is that like blood sugar balance is so integral to hormone balance.
Really?
Yeah.
Explain that.
I feel like most people only talk about blood sugar in the context of like if you're diabetic or something like that, if you already have a problem. But the thing is, when blood sugar fluctuates drastically, which again, if you wake up in the morning, you don't really have breakfast, you grab a coffee and a pastry or a bagel or something like that, or you don't eat at all, what's going to happen is your blood sugar is either going to dip and then spike, or it's going to spike and crash. And when that happens, cortisol spikes. So the other thing that it can do also is trigger cravings. So when your blood sugar spikes and crashes, your brain knows that the quickest form of energy is glucose. And so what it'll do is it'll basically create sugar cravings. It knows that the quickest form of energy is sugar. So that's why like sometimes if you eat a meal that's higher in carbs, pasta or something like that, without eating a salad or something to kind of lighten the load and cushion that blood sugar, you might feel like you want a sweet treat right after, like 30 minutes later, you're hungry again. This is because you had that spike and that crash. And I feel like a lot of this also, imbalanced blood sugar can lead to acne because all of this is spiking cortisol. And I think that it's one of the biggest things that everyone talks about cortisol, but what it's doing for your nervous system is crazy. And that's kind of been like my biggest focus over the past year. I've been working on my hormones for like 7 years, but I was go. I was working all the time. I was doing so much. And it wasn't until I realized like, oh, I've kind of been pushing the limit for so long that I really need to step back and like take care of my nervous system. We see it all the time, especially now that we're like on a TTC, trying to conceive journey. I think the nervous system is the biggest part. If your body doesn't feel safe, like forget about anything else.
Okay, so let's kind of talk a little bit about that. Of women are becoming more aware that our bodies need to feel safe. We need to calm our nervous system down. And so everybody is hyperfixated on creating and living in their soft girl era. But have we taken soft girl era as women too far? And now we're just sitting completely idle and we've become kind of stagnant and lazy. And that's not good for hormones either.
Correct. Also, they say like the idle hands are the devil's playground. Like that's so true too. When you're not doing anything, you're not striving for something, you're not working for something, like that's when kind of the enemy gets in and like you have all these thoughts. And I experienced it. I mean, I did the whole like girl boss too close to the sun kind of thing. And I realized like, oh, okay, like this is too much. This is my nervous system is too messed up. Like I really need to take a step back. But I stopped completely, basically. I kind of like stopped everything and I felt honestly depressed. Like the whole soft girl era left me depressed. I wasn't doing much. I didn't have goals. I thought I had to like go the complete opposite direction. But I think really what it's about is intention and still having goals, still having something to strive for, but taking it easy and realizing that, like, again, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and that not everything has to happen at once. But yeah, soft curl really messed me up. I was like, I thought it was what I had to do, and it made it worse.
We talked about what an ideal period should look like. What is an abnormal period?
Okay, so abnormal period would be, I mean, anything more than 7 days, but I would say like 6 to 7 is on the high end. Something really heavy, I mean, you're changing your tampon, your pad like once an hour. That's not normal. It shouldn't be that heavy. If you have pain so bad, you have to call out of work, you have to call out of school. It's ruining your vacations. And even moving like backwards before your period is your luteal phase, which if you have PMS, which that's when PMS comes up, is during the luteal phase. And if you have imbalanced hormones, you're probably going to have really bad PMS, which then takes you out of it even more. You have cramps, you have mood swings, like you're feeling depressed, you're feeling anxious, you have trouble sleeping. This is when acne can pop up. I mean, during this phase, you do get, I call it the ugly phase, which is like, it's all relative, but you will notice a difference. It's like the phase where you feel like your skin looks dull, none of your clothes look right. You just like feel different all of a sudden. And you're like, what happened to me overnight? That's the luteal phase. But again, a normal period shouldn't affect your life. It shouldn't be the reason you cancel plans or anything like that. And so I would just say like abnormal period, heavy bleeding, irregular cycle. So anything like we consider regular like 25 to 35 days, depending on when you ovulate and the length of your luteal phase. But I would say anything longer than that, you have irregular cycles, which is common like with PCOS, women with PCOS. You really should have on average a 28-day cycle. You should feel fluctuations. But again, they shouldn't ruin your life.
Dude, I'll tell you what, my cycles are short. I am on like a 24-day.
Okay.
And so that sucks. I feel like I have my period and then I'm just having it again. It happens so quickly. What is your anti-PMS cheat sheet?
Oh, I love this. Okay. So it really starts before your period. Like, I mean, it starts with cycle syncing in general, because the more you live in tune, the less PMS you will have, because you're working with your hormones instead of against them. So you're not like kind of, it's hitting you and then you're trying to compensate for it. But I would say it really starts in the luteal phase, which again is when you're really more susceptible to stress. So during this time, we want to like pull out anything that's going to cause more inflammation. So we want to avoid a ton of caffeine. You can still have coffee, but avoid overdoing it. Avoid a ton of refined sugars, anything that's going to mess with your blood sugar. Avoid like fried foods and stuff like that. Again, things that are just going to kind of mess up your liver, cause sluggish liver, where you're not going to be able to detox those excess hormones. And so I would say that that's kind of one of the biggest things. I say eat a raw carrot salad daily.
What's in a raw carrot salad?
And it has to be the big carrots, like the Bugs Bunny carrots with the skin on. So you want to scrub them and wash them. You can't use the baby carrots, but you take a big carrot because what's in the skin is insoluble fiber. So that's going to help bind and flush out like excess estrogen, excess toxins, all the stuff that kind of causes PMS and makes it worse. And what I do, I mean, you could just literally eat a raw carrot if you wanted to. I kind of take a peeler and I make it into ribbons. And then I add a little bit of coconut oil or olive oil, a little apple cider vinegar. I've had shaved apple before, which is really yummy. And then a little bit of salt. And what the fat does, because people are like, can I eat the carrot? I'm like, dip it in hummus or dip it in olive oil or something, because the fat helps make the vitamin A and everything, the vitamins in it, your body can absorb the vitamins as well. So raw carrot salad daily in the luteal phase will change your life. Like, honestly, it's crazy when people like carrot salad, like that's it. I'm like, yeah, game changer. So raw carrot salad. And this is the time, again, when you want to just pull back. Don't be going out. Don't be staying up late. Like, really protect your peace during this time. Again, during the luteal phase, the reason why your stress threshold is so much lower is because this is the time your body would be like incubating a potential baby.
I also recommend making sure you're taking magnesium.
Yes. Magnesium is another one. So important. I mean, so important for everything, but especially during this time. Also, some women experience like sleep issues during the luteal phase, and this is because progesterone dips before your period, and progesterone is the chill hormone. So if you don't have enough progesterone, you're going to feel anxious before your period. You're not going to sleep well, all of those things. So magnesium really is like one of a cure-all, honestly. I take it every single night. I'm obsessed. I even have like the spray, the Primally Pure spray.
Oh,
I
the
spray
sleep spray? Dude, I just started becoming obsessed with that because I have all their stuff and like I kind of make my way through like, okay, I'm going to try this month and whatever. And I just started really using the sleep spray. New favorite product.
I love it. Sometimes I run out of that one and then I just use their cycle soothing. So they have one like for periods you can kind of put it on, on your abdomen.
Yeah, I have the cycle one too. I keep my Primally Pure cycle soothing spray next to my Peppa Pig heating pad.
That's so Alex coded. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I seriously keep it on your nightstand. Keep it on your nightstand. I do it every night. I like that one because it has lavender and stuff.
Yeah.
So I like that one.
The cycle soothing spray is, I don't talk about it enough, you guys, and you need to try that.
But it gets sticky. Just be warned that like I'll spray it on my feet and then because it's salt.
I put that on my tummy.
I do that too, but I'll put it on the bottoms of my feet, like magnesium spray.
Oh yeah. Magnesium, yes.
And
but
then
I do the
still
cycle one on my
sticky.
tummy.
Yeah. And then I do castor oil. So I'll do both. So I'll put a little dollop of castor oil
in your belly
spray,
button.
Then I put the little sticker on top. Have you seen the stickers?
No.
They have like a belly button castor oil sticker.
Why do you do that? Why do you put castor oil in your belly button?
It helps so many things. I feel like I saw a YouTube episode that called it God's cure, that you can like put castor oil on your face. You can put it, like you can ingest it. It helps with like constipation and stuff. So I think it helps with so many things. I wouldn't mess with that.
Belly button works for constipation.
Belly button works. Belly button and also California acupuncture. She told me that castor oil packs can be really intense on your liver and that like castor oil in the belly button is more gentle.
Oh.
So like nightly castor oil could be too intense, but a little bit of that is good.
Okay, I love that.
So that would be my anti-PMS. Again, like this is the time before your period, just like chill out, take a bubble bath. Like the more you do ahead of time, the more proactive you are, the less reactive you have to be in the moment where it like hits you and you're like, oh my gosh, my period's here. What do I do? If we can start ahead of time, cycle syncing and living with our hormones, like it's so much easier.
I live in Arizona, which is basically a dust bowl with an HOA. It's October, but it's still 102 degrees, and I haven't seen a single orange leaf since the Bush administration. There is no fall here. So what do? I manifest fall through protein powder, obviously. Taylor Duke's Wellness just dropped the pumpkin spice protein latte bundle and slapped me in my face. It's got 0 sugar, 20 grams of protein, and real organic ingredients. You can stir it into a smoothie, mix it into your oatmeal, throw it on your brother, froth it all up with a little Taylor Duke's Wellness branded frother that comes in the bundle. One beautiful sip, and suddenly I forget my tires are melting into the asphalt, still in October. This is your PSL if it went to therapy, started lifting weights, and got a degree in functional medicine. No bloat, no crash, no syrup sludge, just fall flavors that actually love your body back. Go to TaylorDukesWellness.com, use code AlexClark for 10% off. That's TaylorDukesWellness.com, code AlexClark. Okay, let me guess. You have mystery hives, your dog's sneezing, your air smells like fake cucumber and melted Barbie feet. But sure, keep cleaning your house with a bottle that says, warning, if ingested, call poison control immediately. I'm not saying you're gross, but I am saying that your products are. Switch to Branch Basics, a non-toxic, endocrine-friendly, actually safe cleaning line that doesn't smell like a candle store exploded. And by cleaning line, I mean one product that does everything. Your windshield wiper fluid. You can wash your produce with it. You can remove your eye makeup with it. You can clean your floors. You can clean your windows. You can clean your baby. You get one super concentrated plant and mineral-based bottle, and it turns into cleaner for all of that. Counters, toilets, laundry, produce, makeup brushes, whatever your haunted apartment throws at you. You mix it with water, shake it like a cocktail, and boom, you're basically a domestic chemist with a conscience. And it's $2.13 a bottle. That is less than what you spent on kombucha that gave you emotional damage. Go to branchbasics.com, use code ALEX15 for 15% off your premium starter kit. That's branchbasics.com, code ALEX15. Now, is there any other things that are good for treating period cramps naturally, or did that cover it?
Okay, the craziest one. This is in the moment, and this is if you need like something in the moment, pickle juice.
Pickle juice for period cramps?
Pickle juice, because of the salt and everything, it helps with like cramping muscles. Pickle juice. I shared it and I got dozens of messages going, I tried it and it works. And it works quick. So that's a fun one, just in the moment. Castor oil helps, magnesium helps. A heating pad if you need it, or like a Epsom salt bath.
Yeah.
But I kind of just write it out.
Also, just if you can, I know that's not doable for everybody depending on the phase of your life, but if you can, extra sleep in the luteal phase really is helpful. Like we actually do as women need more sleep. Actually, in general, women need more sleep for our hormones than men. Just on a day-to-day basis, we need to be sleeping longer. So good news for us, bad news for the husbands. But they need to be getting up so that you can sleep in a little bit longer. I'm just telling you, you have my excuse there, my permission. Walk us through the 4 phases of a woman's cycle.
Okay, so you have 4 phases of the menstrual cycle. Ideally, it's like a 28-day cycle, right? That's like the classic picture perfect cycle. Not everyone has that. I don't have that. You just said you don't have that. But there's 4 phases. You have menstrual phase. So the first day of your period is the first day of your cycle. I remember when I was growing up, I was like, I thought there was 2 phases, on my period and not on my period.
But do you count the first day of your period when you have like significant amount of blood, or do you count when it's just a little brown blood?
So the brown blood is not normal. That usually means low progesterone.
I do have that.
Slower
I do have
moving,
low progesterone.
Yeah, which is stress. I mean, you have a lot going on all the time. That would lead to shorter cycles too. So typically, shorter luteal phase, like if you were to ovulate on day 14 or 15, your cycle is like 24. That means you're having a 9 or 10 day luteal phase, which again, it just means progesterone's dropping off too early. So it's just like, okay, trying to hold on as long as we can, and then your period comes. So typically with like brown blood, it's just old blood, so slower moving. So it's like kind of been in there for a little bit and then it's coming out, and that would indicate again, low progesterone, which you can, kind of fix by balancing your hormones. So it's not anything to be alarmed about, but the same way I just see like period problems, PMS, like irregular cycles, they're just the canary in the coal mine.
So your first day is bright red blood? Okay.
It didn't used to be though. I will say like, and it depends. Obviously, if I'm like stressed, that's a cool thing about your period. It's month by month.
And it
it's
tells
like a monthly
you what's going
card.
on with you.
Yeah. So if it's shorter, longer, someone were like, my period's so late. I'm like, ovulation is late. You never have like, your period will always come 10 to 14 days after you ovulate. So it's not that like your period is too long. It's that because your body is stressed or for whatever reason, it's holding off ovulation because it doesn't feel safe, essentially.
So if your period, like your menstrual cycle week is 5 to 7 days, it's on the longer end. What does that say?
So if it's on the longer end, again, if it's heavy, if it's like clotty, usually it's high estrogen. Like 7 days, that would indicate like, like maybe, or there's women that are like, it happens and then I get 2 days without it and then it's back again.
Is there a correlation between having a longer menstrual cycle and acne?
I would think that they're all connected. In the way that I see it is they're all connected to stress and like your body feeling safe or not. And acne is also a reflection of that. So acne, I mean, for me, have some right now. I can eat all the dairy. None of that affects me. The second I'm stressed, I get acne. So like that's what it is for me. It's usually cortisol. So like when I'm stressed, I try to detox more. I try to really support that to make sure my body's flushing out anything excess, because that's kind of your body's way of purging it. So if your body can't get it out elsewhere, it's gonna like purge it through your skin. So yeah, like longer cycles would indicate, hormone disruption, things going on. You're not detoxing, probably higher estrogen, and that's going to reflect in your skin.
What should you be eating during having your period?
On your period, day 1, I said I make the rules, and this is one of them, steak. A big grass-fed steak. I mean, I eat steak all the time, but especially on day 1 of your period, I swear will change your life. It will make your period so much easier, that one single thing. And also like the week before your period to prepare, because you're about to bleed, you're about to lose blood and iron and all of that. So if you can eat kind of red meat and prioritize that the week before your period, you're getting ahead of it. And that way, when your period starts and you're losing blood, like you're not depleting those iron stores so much that you're like fatigued and tired and just like essentially just like kind of flatlined on your period.
Follicular phase.
Moving into the follicular phase, that's the second phase. Say that one 10 times fast. This is like, so if menstrual phase is your inner winter, I like to think of them as seasons. I forgot to say that before. So your menstrual phase is like your winter. And I want you to treat it the way that you would, like the things that you would do in winter.
In warm foods,
soups, stews, hearty grounding food, meat and potatoes. This is like a meat and potatoes phase. What do you do in the winter? You kind of hibernate, you stay in, you don't make plans, you're not going crazy. That's what the menstrual phase is. So then moving into follicular, this is your inner spring. So like the same way the flowers are blooming, your energy is starting to come back after your period. So on your period, another thing is like everyone's like, oh, you're so hormonal, you must be on your period. Your period's actually when you're the least hormonal.
Yeah.
Your hormones are the lowest. which I saw a reel about this, is like, that's when you're most like a man, actually. So when you're on your period and we're like, oh, are you on your period? It's like, yeah, that's when we're actually most like a man, which is funny. So all your hormones at their lowest. So moving into the follicular phase, inner spring, your energy is coming back. This is when you're the most creative. This is when you also want to focus on healthy fats. So to prepare for ovulation, to prepare the egg and all of that, healthy fats are like the biggest thing. So I like to eat like eggs during this phase, olives, just super fatty things are going to be really good during this time. This is the time, again, when you are the most creative, when you can outline projects. If you were thinking about it in terms of like work, outlining projects, obviously you have the freedom to set up your work around this, stuff like that. And then when you move into ovulation and during your follicular phase, this is when hormones are like starting to go up. So you move into ovulation, and this is mid-cycle, so around day 14. I ovulate on day 15. This is where period tracker apps, you can't trust them because women ovulate on different days. Like some women ovulate on day 14, some on day 16, some on day 13. So if you just trust that like random period app that puts the flower on day 14, like it's not accurate. And this is why it's, again, so important to like learn your own cycle and chart your own cycle and get in tune with that. So ovulation is mid-cycle. This is your inner summer. This is when you have the most energy, you feel the best, you look the best. The bone structure of your face shifts slightly to give you like more feminine, attractive features to like help you essentially look more attractive to find a mate.
In follicular phase, and then especially ovulation, is when women want to have sex the most.
Yes. Ovulation is like, that's it. So ovulation technically is a one-day event, but your fertile window is like the 5 days before it too, because sperm can live for up to 5 days.
And I think that it's important for men to realize women really have 2 weeks out of the month where we are like wanting to have sex. The other 2 weeks, we typically, there's always exceptions to the rule, right? But typically on average, more women are not going to be in the mood for those other 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But you've got 2 weeks to make the most of it.
Yeah, 2 weeks to hit it hard. But like even I know. Pun intended, I guess. But I feel like even those other 2 weeks, this is something that I've been like thinking about lately is like, I don't know, this is a kind of a more sex-based conversation. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, let's talk about sex.
So this is something, and mom and dad, if you're watching, sorry, but something I've been working with my husband lately and on myself, because I was the girl that like after 9 p.m. when my skincare is done, like I'm putting on my frownies, I'm putting on my mouth tape, like don't talk to me, don't touch me, like I'm done. I'm reading my Kindle, I'm out. And I just, like lately I've just been saying yes. Like, I don't know. I just feel like lately this thing that is in my head is like, you'll the same way you'll never regret working out, you'll never regret having sex with your husband. Never once have I like been like, okay. And then after I've been like, wish I was asleep. Like, wish I hadn't done that. And it's just, the connection is so worth it. And what it's done for my relationship and my marriage is so worth it. It's worth, even if I lose sleep, even if I still have to wake up early, like to me, I don't know. It's like, I try to put my marriage again before like, oh, I would like to go to bed right now. And I just feel like all those little things, they just add up. And so, yeah, you'll never regret having sex with your husband.
I think that's really, really good advice.
I honestly, your episode with Tilly, like, convicted me.
Really?
And even me and Daniel were listening to a podcast where she was reading Genesis. And one of the things I heard that I was like, I didn't catch it the first time, where in the Bible, it says like, you will, like part of the curse, whatever for eating that is, you will want to control your husband, but he will lead you. And like, that's one of the things that it's so true. There is like this underlying thing that we always have to be aware of because it's always there.
Yeah.
It's a daily practice.
The curse of women.
Like she was saying like, oh, you didn't want to turn there? Like we're going somewhere? Why do I need to say that? I like catch myself so often. So yeah, ovulation is when you're in the mood, but around the other phases, like, you know, just try to see past it. Just try to see past yourself is kind of what I've been saying. But then after ovulation, which again is ovulation is 1 day, your fertile window is 6 days. So you'll kind of feel the effects of ovulation ahead of time. You'll notice like, wow, I feel better. I look a little bit better. I have more energy. This is the time when obviously your cervical fluid changes. Everything, so cool. I just think everything your body does is to help get you pregnant. So like everything, like you'll have difference in cervical fluid, and that is again, it's easier for sperm to swim through. So like our body is doing all of these things innately. I think it's so cool. So that is the ovulation phase. Your inner summer, again, this is when you feel the hottest. Things to eat during this phase. One, a lot of women they can feel like constipated or more bloated or retain water during this phase. So I focus on like water-rich foods. I do like chia pudding during this phase, coconut water, a lot of fruit. And you'll notice the more you kind of live in tune with these phases, the more you will crave these foods naturally. It's really cool. It's really cool. This is why I'm such a fan of cycle tracking apps. But I think first you should kind of do it yourself and learn it yourself and take notes of your cravings and your thoughts and your moods and all of these things and really observe. You kind of have all the answers. If you just get quiet, your body knows.
What kind of workouts during luteal phase?
Luteal phase, you want to dial it down. Again, there are so many people that are like, oh, so I can't work out during this phase. Not true. Not true. Not true in any phase. If you feel good on your period and you have energy, yeah, go to the gym. Don't do a HIIT workout, but move your body, get some movement, lift some weights if you feel good. Ovulation is the best time for HIIT workouts. You have the most energy and the best recovery. And then moving into luteal, Pilates, yoga, walking, incline walking. This is when I love doing, 12-3-30. So a 12% incline, 3 miles per hour for 30 minutes.
Okay.
You'll work up a sweat and it feels good. And it's just a way to move your body where you're I don't want to go in and lift weights. Also, it feels harder. When you go to the gym in your luteal phase, you're like, am I weak? What is wrong with me?
I don't always feel that way.
Why can't I lift anything?
Yeah.
And so it's your hormones. And so I think this is another way, learning your phases, you're able to really not have excuses, but have an understanding for, oh, that's why I feel this way at this time. Oh, that's why I do this thing. Or, oh, I know during this phase, I'm a little bit sensitive. So I better kind of watch my emotions and hold my tongue sometimes because I know that I can pop off during this phase, which is the luteal phase.
Do certain food cravings give you insight into what's going on hormonally?
Yes. So sugar cravings, like I was saying, if you're having blood sugar spikes and you're on a blood sugar roller coaster, you're going to crave more sugar. And so that typically I would just focus on proteins and fats first. It's not to say you can't have sugar. I have a sweet treat every single night. I'm a sweet treat girl.
She is a sweet treat girl. I'm salt. She is sweet treat.
I love it. I love my little grass-fed ice cream sundae. Every night I have a kid scoop of ice cream with little dye-free sprinkles. I love it. By no means am I saying you can't have sugar or anything like that. I have fruit with almost every meal. But you just want to make sure you're offsetting it with proteins and fats and not eating it alone. So not having just an apple alone. Not just having crackers alone, have cheese and crackers and some protein and some fats. So if you find yourself craving sugar a lot, also this can be a sign of candida and gut issues. So the more the bugs you feed, if you feed the sugar bugs all the time, those are the ones that are going to give you the cravings. They're give me more, give me more. And so that can kind of give you even more sugar cravings. So it feeds a cycle. Craving salt. I really think this probably means you need more sodium, magnesium, minerals. And so if you're not adding good, I know Taylor Duke's electrolytes are great. Having a good amount of, not being scared of salt. I think so many people undersalt things and then they crave salty foods and they're why do I crave this? It's so bad for me.
We are undersalting and we're also not using correct salt. We're not using real salt. Yeah. Real salt is good for you. Bleached, nasty, restaurant, white table salt is not. So that's the thing. Taylor Dukes has a great salt. I love Redmond's real salt.
I have the little Redmond's, the baby ones. I have them in my purse.
Yeah, I always keep my own salt in my purse. So when I'm going out to eat, I can use that.
There was one time we were eating out with my parents and my dad was oh, I need some salt. I said, oh, I have some. But he had already asked the server hey, do you have salt? And then I brought it out. He goes, oh, just kidding. My daughter has some in her purse. And I was okay, don't put me on blast. I just carry around salt. But I do, because I think it is so important to have the right kind of salt.
My friend went to the ER for a rash. A rash, people, not a sword wound, not childbirth. And they hit him with a bill for $14,000 for something that you could treat with gold bond and shame. And the kicker, his insurance denied the claim. Why? Because apparently the rash wasn't serious enough. Wow, you think? Ironic, because now he's having a full-blown financial stroke. Health insurance is a scam, okay? It is a glorified pyramid scheme run by sociopaths with conference badges. But you don't have to play the game anymore, not with Crowd Health. Crowd Health is not insurance. It is a community. You get access to telemedicine, cash pay doctors, which are the best kinds, discounted prescriptions, actual tools that work. And when someone in the community needs help, the crowd funds it. You help others, they help you. It's like GoFundMe with structure and dignity. I talked to Andy, the CEO, on this show. Go back, listen to our interview. He broke it down. Insurance companies are literally incentivized to deny your claims. Crowd Health flips that model upside down. Let Crowd Health help with your healthcare needs. Get started today for just $99 per month for your first 3 months by using code CULTURE at joincrowdhealth.com. Crowd Health is not insurance. Learn more at joincrowdhealth.com. That's joincrowdhealth.com, code CULTURE. We've been told this is normal. Your kids, crooked teeth, snoring, maybe grinding their teeth at night. But here's the thing, it's not normal. In fact, it's a silent health crisis. You know what I'm talking about, mouth breathing. Listen to me. This is not just a weird quirk that your kid has. Mouth breathing is linked to poor sleep, snoring, bedwetting, ADHD-like symptoms, chronic congestion, and even crooked teeth. And the worst part, we've been told it's fine, that it's normal, they grow out of it. But here's the truth. Our kids' faces are shrinking. Their jaws are narrowing, and it's leading to a full-blown mouth breathing epidemic that no one wants to address. If your kid has even one of those symptoms, that is a red flag and you need to correct it immediately. That is where Tooth Pillow comes in. This device was created by airway dentist Dr. Ben Moralia, Dr. Callie Hale, and Dr. Kevin Goles. This isn't some Band-Aid solution. This is a revolutionary virtual program and device that addresses the root cause of your kid's airway and developmental issues. Tooth Pillow isn't just about managing symptoms, it's about fixing the real problems affecting your kid's health. You can start with a simple virtual assessment from a Tooth Pillow airway dentist. They're literally going to talk to you all about your kid and their teeth and what's going on. Go to toothpillow.com, use code Alex Clark for a free video assessment, and click, is my child a candidate, to start making real changes. What does a hormone-balanced meal look like?
Hormone-balanced meal, at its very core, has like proteins, fats, carbs, starchy veggies. So I joke all the time that I eat like a baby-led weaned like baby because my meals are so simple. It's like I'll just have like steak and sweet potato and avocado. Like I eat really simply.
That's what I do.
Yeah, it's good and it's easy.
Once in a blue moon, I will get a wild hair and I will follow some kind of crazy recipe, like a special chicken dish and sauce and all this. I mean, but that is so rare. Most of the time, like last night, I had baked beans, which this isn't totally a hormone balanced meal, but I did have baked beans because I love baked beans. I eat them like 4 times a week. I had a ribeye and then I had a whole bunch of asparagus, and that was my meal.
Good.
I should have had rice or potatoes, but to have like a carb.
Beans are good.
I guess they're okay.
Beans
they're
are
probably
good.
more fiber. Yeah, that's what I had. So it is pretty simple. And then I cooked the steak in beef tallow.
I give you an A. Like I think that's great.
Okay.
Beans are a good source of fiber. Yeah. I think beans got demonized. We went through this whole phase where it's like lectins and this and that and no beans. And I'm like,
well, there's a whole controversial thing about beans where it's like, do you only eat them if you're soaking them and all this?
Cooked.
Yeah. And that's kind of like a Weston A. Price Foundation train of thought, which is fine. I'm not disagreeing with it, but I am going to admit that I am a little bit lazy in that regard. So I do just eat the canned beans. But
like I'm lazy. Okay. My favorite, a staple in my diet, are the Jesse and Ben's fries.
Oh yeah, love those.
I have every bag at any given time. The tallow, the rosemary, the sweet potato, all the time.
The rosemary slaps.
So good. And then I toss in a little olive oil and put Parmesan and garlic salt.
Ooh.
And I make them like Parmesan garlic fries. So good. So that's like my lazy hack. I literally have those with probably almost every meal. But my meals are basically meat, potato, whether it's sweet potato, regular potato, again, fries, and then some kind of like, again, starchy or some salad, maybe an arugula salad. I like arugula because it's like bitter and that's good for your gut. I used to do a ton of salads. I don't crave them anymore. Like I really don't. And I even get messages of like, you don't really eat vegetables. I'm like, starchy veggie. Like I eat root vegetables.
Yeah,
I think
you do eat a
carrots
lot
count.
of root vegetables.
Sweet potatoes count. Fruit.
See, you're way more interesting on Instagram to follow when it comes to like, what are you eating all day? I, first of all, never document that, but my meals are so boring compared to yours. Even though yours are simple, you still like plate them pretty and you have all these colors. And like Emily is a way better person because you guys are always like, please show us what you eat all day. I'm like, you would literally be so bored. It's exactly what I just told you. But like baked beans and steak. But Emily's is really creative and really cool. So you should definitely follow Emily.
Everyone's asking, my goal is that like when I get pregnant, then I'll do a cookbook. That'll be like my little passion project.
Yeah.
And I can just kind of like take a back seat, not do anything crazy.
Cookbook.
Yes. And just like be in the kitchen every day. But yeah, protein, fats, fiber. That's like That's basically it.
And carbs.
And carbs, which can be fiber too. So like sweet potatoes, I would kind of count that also as fiber. But yeah, either fruit or potato. Like it doesn't have to be crazy. And even the meals I make, if you guys see them on Instagram, like they rarely have more than 10 ingredients. Like I can't be bothered also. I don't like recipes. There's also a rebellious part of me that this is probably a control thing, I don't know. But when I make a recipe, I don't follow the recipe. I always like do kind of my own thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, when it tastes good, I want to know that it's because like I kind of did it. Not that I was like just following someone else's recipe, but I put my own spin on it. And so I'll glance at things, but I, for the most part, just throw a bunch of stuff together. My husband knows if I could go on any cooking show, it would be Chopped. Like I'm convinced I would actually be so good at it that you could give me the most random ingredients.
I believe you.
And I could make something.
You're a good salesperson. I believe anything you say. What are some signs that you're running on stress hormones?
Oh, so many. So acne is a big one. Like I was saying, that's a sign that like your stress hormones are high. Feeling anxious, like having that like heart flutter, always being in a hurry, like always feeling like you're rushing. This is another thing that I've really been working on lately. I don't have to be anywhere at any time. Like I work for myself. I still was waking up at 6:30, chugging my lemon water, like making my little yogurt bowl, drinking my coffee, like dunking my face in ice water. And I'm like, for what? Like where's the fire? Like where do I have to be? And it was just something I did for so long. And then having an aura ring, which I recently got rid of.
Why?
I actually threw it into a bush in like a random, I know.
Why?
I felt like I was making an idol out of it a little bit. Like I've been wearing it for so long. And I've been doing, like I do the things I know I need to do.
Yeah.
Like even if I wear it or not wear it, I just felt like I was looking to it of like, okay, what was my sleep like? And then I would kind of just like use it as a way I wasn't listening to my body. I was like kind of like letting it tell me things. And I was like, I feel like I should move my body because I want to move my body, not because my aura ring is telling me I need another like 20 minutes of brisk activity.
I'm dead that you just like threw it in a bush instead of just sold it or something.
No, I did it without thinking kind of. And then I was like, you guys, because I was with my husband and my friend and they're like, you won't, because they don't have one. And they were like, you won't, like you love that thing. And I do. And I don't believe, I didn't throw it away. I will say this on the record because the whole Palantir thing that everyone's talking about. That aura team with Palantir.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
If you have a phone, your phone's listening, your phone's tracking your data. People saw that they did this deal with Palantir and they were like,
cares?
Ooh. I go, oh no, the government's going to know how I sleep.
Yeah. Who cares if they know that? I don't.
I literally don't care.
Also, I know that there's this big controversy and everybody's like, because RFK was talking about, getting people all devices to track your health. Do you guys not understand that we are in a chronic disease epidemic and that President Trump gave him 2 years to be like, we need proof that we are reversing this? It is helpful if a lot of people are wearing wearables and we're able to track real life data. Are we improving? Are we not? What's working? What's not? I mean, I think that's fantastic. Obviously, nobody's going to be forced, but if you want to, then like great. And then they can use that intel to be like, are we on the right track or not? To me, I understand that there's like hardcore libertarian people out there that are going to be like, absolutely not. Nobody knows what I'm doing, whatever. I'm just like, okay, well, do you own an iPhone? Are you living in a cabin in the woods?
Yeah.
Like, if you're not, I just think they're tracking you everywhere. Everybody has a Ring doorbell. There's cameras everywhere. Like, dude, that ship has sailed. Like, we're all cooked in that regard. So who cares?
Kind of how I feel too.
But I know that some of you may have different views on that, and that's fine. But for me, it's just not something that worries me or keeps me up at all.
Other ways to know you're running on stress hormones, cravings are another one. Again, because if cortisol is messed up, blood sugar is going to be affected. So like cravings, feeling anxious, like feeling like you're in a rush, like nothing's ever enough, like there's not enough hours in the day. Like I just feel like those are all like cortisol's running the show. And cortisol is not bad. You need it. It gets a bad rap, but like you need it. You need it to wake up in the morning and all this sort of thing. So like the goal isn't to get like cortisol to zero. But I would say that's the main ones is like, again, like you're feeling anxious, you have cravings, you have like kind of like, again, that fluttery feeling in your chest. You can't drink coffee without feeling crazy. That's another sign of like, you're already at your threshold. Obviously, getting in bed at night, if you feel like your body's tired, but you're kind of wired, that's another sign that your cortisol rhythm is messed up. So cortisol's high in the morning, kind of dips, and then it spikes a little bit in the afternoon, and then it goes down all the way before you go to bed. So if it's high before you go to bed, it's just a sign that like things are messed up.
How do you track your period if you never have before?
I always recommend apps are helpful at first because it's a little overwhelming. When I made the jump to get off birth control, I started hand charting, which sounds like so old school, but it was such a good way to really learn. Now, obviously, there's apps like Natural Cycles that will do it for you.
Yeah.
But I really encourage women to learn also what's going on and learn how to do it. You can't rely on an app for everything. Like you really shouldn't be relying on an app. Especially at the beginning when it's like learning your cycle, it doesn't know yet. I use the fertility awareness method to prevent pregnancy and track my cycle basically. And that's kind of what Natural Cycles uses. It's the symptothermal method. So you're using symptoms and your temperature. And you use like a special thermometer called a basal body thermometer.
That
which
goes up your snatch?
No.
Where you
know
put
what?
it?
That's the craziest thing. That's the craziest question that I always get asked. Like, what temperature are you taking?
Yeah, what temperature are you taking?
Your tongue, under your tongue.
Okay.
Which your Oura Ring will do that. So Oura Ring partnered with Natural Cycles last year, and now Oura Ring will track your temperature through the night, and then you can sync it to Natural Cycles, and it does it. So that was really helpful. I did that for years, and now it's like, I kind of already know. There's another reason, but you can use that. So if you have an Oura Ring, it also Apple Watch, you can use an Apple Watch syncs to Natural Cycles too, takes your temperature, which I think that's really cool. That was a cool thing about Oura is like, it is also aware of your stress. So like if it notices like, hey, like you didn't sleep well last night, your heart rate's a little higher, your body temperature's a little higher, you might be getting sick. Like take it easy. Like don't push it. I thought that was pretty cool. The basal body thermometer is going to track it to 2 temperature decimals, which is way more accurate than just like a typical thermometer. You can't use a regular thermometer. But yeah, you put it under your tongue. It's not crazy. And you need to do it first thing in the morning, like before your feet touch the ground, before you go pee, before you drink water, like take your temperature. And it really does need to be at the same time every day, like within the same half an hour. When I was learning my cycle and getting off birth control and that whole transition, I, even on the weekends, would set my alarm and like take my temperature and then just put my thermometer back on my nightstand and go back to bed. Because my thermometer would like track the last temperature it took. So I could just fill it in the morning. So you're using those 2 things because what happens before ovulation is your temperature will dip and then spike. And when I say dip and spike, it's like half a degree. It's barely anything, but enough to be detected and enough to confirm ovulation. So it'll dip, spike, and then it'll stay elevated. Once you know is when it's elevated for 3 days, that's when ovulation is confirmed. And then your temperature will stay up for 10 to 14 days during your luteal phase. This is just due to hormones. They increase your temperature. So it's just another way to track. And then like the day you get your period, you could see if you wake up in the morning, your temperature's lower. You're like, well, my period's coming today. So you kind of already know. You can be prepared. You can already know, and it's not a surprise. That's what you do. You take your temperature every morning. Track your symptoms too. Track your cervical fluid, all of that stuff. That's another really important factor that a lot of women don't track, and it can give really good indications of whether or not you're ovulating and when.
When you get off birth control, what is the best way to train your body how to cycle naturally again?
So getting off birth control is... not that it's a tricky thing, but I wouldn't just like ditch birth control willy-nilly without a plan. This is when there's something called post-birth control syndrome. And it is when like, if you got on birth control because you had irregular cycles, painful periods, well, that stuff is waiting. That stuff's waiting for you. Because all you did was put a Band-Aid and basically put a muzzle on it for however many years you were on birth control. So to avoid having like this crazy whiplash of symptoms come back at you, I really recommend following some kind of hormone balancing protocol first, which is, I say hormone balancing, it's really just the way that you should live your life in a way that like prioritizes hormone balance. So again, healthy fats, balancing blood sugar, making sure detox pathways are open. So making sure you're going to the bathroom every day, you're going poop every day, making sure you're sweating. I used to not be able to sweat. For the longest time, like when I was younger, I can remember I would get so hot and I couldn't break a sweat. And I learned that was because you have like congested lymph, congested like liver. And so my body couldn't get toxins out. So you want to make sure you're sweating, making sure you're going to the bathroom every day, drinking water, balancing blood sugar, and then you can get off of birth control. You really want to, again, focus on supporting your liver. This is the biggest thing, supporting your gut and supporting your liver. Your gut, one, is kind of like where serotonin's made. It's where some of your like neurotransmitters are made, but also your gut because birth control depleted it. Birth control depletes your gut of essential vitamins, minerals, nutrients. It can cause leaky gut. So I would also, part of like what I teach the women in my course is like drinking bone broth every day.
I was just going to say.
Drinking bone broth every day. All of these things, like you can take, there are certain supplements. You can take glutamine, which is the most powerful amino acid in bone broth. That's what's helping to like rebuild that gut lining. So really helping your gut, really helping your liver so that when you get off birth control, your body has an easier time and it's not just like shell shocked, doesn't know what to do. Especially, this is the crazy thing, women are put on birth control so young that like, yeah, your hormone, like your cycle didn't know what it was doing. You were 13, it was just coming online. It was figuring it all out too. And you just slap birth control on it. And now you're getting off and it's like, okay, trying to get its bearings also. Give it time. It took me 3 months to get my period back when I got off birth control after being on it for about 10 years. And it was a process, you know. This was before I developed my program. It's like why I did. I had acne, I had mood swings. I had never had acne in my life. Like I was like, what the heck is going on? I was going through so much and no one told me about it. Like all I knew is, okay, I'm on birth control, I'm miserable. Anything is better than this. And then it turns out I was like, okay, I kind of regretted it at first. I was like, do I go back on? I was like, no. So it's a bit of a process. So supporting your body in the meantime, there's supplements you can take, probiotics, cowboy colostrum. Colostrum is so amazing. I now no longer take a probiotic because I feel like at this point I've replenished my gut. My gut is good. And now I just do colostrum every day. So those are the things you want to do. You don't really want to get off cold turkey without a plan. Some women do and they're fine, but I would really recommend following some kind of like protocol. It's not intense, but just supporting your body's natural rhythm and your period will come back. And don't be in a hurry is what I will say.
Okay.
I think most women get off like when they want to get pregnant. And then it's like, okay, you need at least a year after birth. They even tell you like, don't get pregnant within like 3 to 6 months of getting off birth control because things are like not right yet.
I only light beeswax candles in my home, and not just for the vibe. When beeswax burns, it releases negative ions, which can help neutralize pollutants in the air. Cleaner air, softer light, and the gentle scent of essential oils. All of that supports your body's natural shift into a parasympathetic state, the calm, rest and digest mode that your nervous system needs. That's why I use Natural Sloth candles. Their beeswax candles are Made Safe certified, non-toxic, and scented only with pure essential oils. No synthetic fragrances, no hormone disruptors. If you've got an air purifier in your home like I do, it's going to tell you that your air is really pure and clean. Just clean burning beeswax, a wooden wick. It gives off the most soothing crackle. Handmade in Texas by a veteran-owned company, Natural Sloth is transparent about every ingredient. Their products are safe for families, sensitive individuals, honestly, anyone who cares about what they bring into their home. Go to naturalsloth.com, use code ALEX for 15% off. I recommend stocking up now. Yes, it is October, but Christmas is right around the corner and they will sell out. This is a great way to stock up for little gifts for all your family members. That's naturalsloth.com, code ALEX for 15% off. So I stayed at my friend's house recently. She's one of those people who makes her guest bed feel like a 5-star hotel in the Alps. I love that. And when I was leaving, I stripped the bed because, you know, I'm a nice person. And I checked the tag on the sheets because I had like the best sleep of my life. And the whole night I was like, man, these are nice sheets. When I wake up in the morning and I'm taking these off, I got to see what they are. And I literally laughed out loud. Cozy Earth. Of course, I'm always talking about Cozy Earth. I should have known. I am nothing if not wildly consistent. That is how you know the love is real. These sheets are made from 100% premium viscose from bamboo. They're insanely soft, they're temperature regulating, and somehow always feel clean and cool, like they're fresh out of the dryer 24/7. Even Oprah loves them. And frankly, if they're good enough for Oprah, they're good enough for me in my friend's bougie guest room. So if you want to feel like every night is a sleepover at a luxury retreat, go to CozyEarth.com and use code ALEX for 40% off. Okay, that's a massive discount. CozyEarth.com, code ALEX for 40% off. What if somebody does want to get pregnant? Then what do they need to be doing?
So the fertility awareness method works both ways. So you can use it to prevent pregnancy by learning your fertile window. I don't think I touched on that part. So once you track your cycle in this way, you learn your fertile window, which is the day of ovulation and the 5 days before. So you can only get pregnant 6 days out of the month, which at this day and age, I still meet women every day that are like, I thought I could get pregnant every day. And I just thought I was more fertile when I was ovulating. I'm like, no, Like, again, I grew up in the public school system. It failed us. We know it's horrible. It didn't teach me really anything. Like, and then you have Mean Girls, which is like, don't have sex because if you have sex, you will get pregnant and you will die.
Right.
And that's also not how it works. So you're only fertile 6 days out of the month. And learning this temperature shift and your symptoms, you can avoid intercourse during that time. It's the only time you're fertile. And the other time, you're fine. You don't have to worry about anything. So then when it's time to get pregnant, you basically just flip it. And now you know you've tracked your cycle, you're in tune, you know when you ovulate, you know when you're fertile, and it becomes so much easier, I mean, ideally to get pregnant because you understand this and it's not just a shot in the dark. It's not just like, okay, we'll see what happens. It's like, no, I know this is when I'm fertile. And I think there's so many women out there that like don't know when they're ovulating, don't know when they're fertile. And so it's just like a guessing game every month. And I was just saying this is like our second month of trying, and it feels crazy because if you don't get pregnant, you have to wait a whole nother month. And it feels so long. It's like, okay, another month. It's crazy. When I was younger, I genuinely thought also that I could get pregnant any day, like every day out of the month. And I was like so scared. It's crazy.
See, this is why it's so freeing as a woman to learn about your cycle in this way. And it's actually the coolest tool. It's like another special sense that we have.
It is.
You know, it's like a little spidey sense.
It's a little sixth sense. Yeah, spidey sense. And it's so cool and it tells you so much. And then obviously, I think like when people ask me like, what's the best diet? I'm like, I eat a fertility diet. I think the best diet is a diet that focuses on fertility because that's like the biggest marker of health.
And real food, yeah.
Real food, lots of healthy fats, lots of like vitamin, minerals, nutrient dense foods, one ingredient foods, as many of those as possible. Ditch the processed food. Like it's just how you should live your life. And then like I was saying, preparing for pregnancy, like I really try to focus on my stress.
What are your thoughts on fasting?
I recently kind of started dabbling in fasting. And fasting with my cycle. So I don't do intermittent fasting. That's not my thing. I did it for years. It ruined my hormones. I really think women should be eating breakfast, eating like a protein and fat rich breakfast within an hour of waking up. Like that is a hill I will die on. It is so important. It makes such a difference. Even if it's small, eat something. But fasting, I've recently been dabbling in it where I've done up to a 48-hour fast. I think I made it to 36. The best time is like right after your period. And then you also have a little window right after ovulation. So those two times are when it's like best your body can tolerate it without adding a ton of stress. And I actually think it's really good. I mean, it's biblical, like fasting and prayer. People have been fasting for thousands of years, but I think it just gives your body a rest. And so people are like, oh, your body's gonna go into starvation. One day you're gonna be okay. I promise you're gonna be okay. 24 hours. It just kind of is like a little factory reset. Is the way that I see it. It resets, it gives your body time when it's not doing things, it's not digesting food, it's not actively working, and it can focus on repairing and healing. So it's something I've been like dabbling in recently, just 24 hours here and there. And I feel good. Like I sleep like a baby.
You just got married in March. Are you currently trying to have a baby or where are we at?
Yes, finally we are. Finally, we're in that like TTC journey. It's really fun. I mean, this is something I have always wanted, like since I was tiny. I've always wanted to be a mom. Like it was, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like I've always wanted to be a mom. And so it was really hard. And I hope my husband's okay with me sharing this, but he has his own business. We've gone through a lot. We've bought and sold 2 homes in the past few years. You know, we only recently got married and it was hard for me to like wait. Because, you know, it's like, I feel like everyone says you're never going to be ready, you know, all of this. And now we're at a place where we're like, we wish we started sooner. I wish we started sooner. Like, I really, now more than ever, I think we should be having more babies. And I'm like, I used to be like, I want 2. Now I'm like, I want 5.
I want 5.
Like, God willing, I want a whole gaggle of kids.
Yeah.
And I really think like big families are coming back. And I think it's so beautiful. And I just like, now more than ever, I don't know, I just feel so convicted. I'm like, we should have started like 5 years ago. Like we should have just started no matter where we were at financially, no matter where we were at with our careers. Like people do it all the time.
Do you remember in, I think, November of 2024, last year, I interviewed this investigative journalist, author, Catherine Pakaluk about big families were like on a comeback. And it's such a phenomenal episode. And her book called Hannah's Children is a phenomenal book. But it's a nonfiction book. She traveled around the world talking to people that were of all religions, all different financial means, and didn't even have college or did have college degrees, I think it was, and decided I still wanted to have 5 or more kids. So it was like on purpose, like well-to-do educated women that wanted to have huge families, and just like, how do you do it? What was the reason? Anyway, that kind of reminds me of what you're saying. Yeah. That's kind of like a OG Culture Apothecary episode, but such a good one.
Yeah, I just think we need to have more kids. Like, truly, I look around and I'm like, I remember your speech at YWS where like, we will outvote you, we will outbreed you. And I was like, yeah, more Christian conservatives. We need to have more kids. Yeah. Like, truly.
That was really big on with Charlie. And, you know, he was saying that all the time because he loved marriage so much and having kids so much that he wanted everybody to experience what he had experienced. And so I think about that, and now with his murder, I'm like wondering if just people wanting to, that are listening to his talks more and all of this, I wonder if we're going to see like a Charlie Kirk baby boom. Like everybody's going to have huge families.
Is going to go crazy.
For boys or girls, it'll be cute.
I love that. I love boy names for girls. I love Dylan for a girl. I love Charlie for a girl. Yeah, I really think like to carry on his mission and his legacy, like we owe it to him to have a bunch of kids, guys. And
Robert for a girl.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding.
Ooh, that's a hot one. That's joking. A hot take.
I'm joking.
Richard.
Yeah, Richard.
Remember,
Richie. Didn't Bobby, what's her face?
Yes, Bobby Altoff.
Yeah, she said Richard and Concrete. Yeah.
Ooh. But I just want to say, I wasn't sure whether I was going to bring this up. I have to say, I don't know where my career would be without you and without Charlie. I'm a conservative because of you. I don't know if I've ever told you that.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, during COVID, you popped up in my feed. Like, Politics popped up in my feed. And I was like, oh, she's so cute. She's like a little Polly Pocket. It was like Lisa Frank vibes, which is like so me. One, I didn't grow up religious. And 2, I didn't grow up political. I didn't really know my parents' political affiliation. I could guess Democrat because we're in California, but we never talked about it. First time I voted for anyone was when I voted for Trump. And so I just was like, I have to say, like, I don't know where my career would be. Going on your podcast, going on the Spillover, OG Spillover years ago, going to YWLS, going to America Fest, going on Ali Bestucki's podcast, on Blake's podcast. Like, I kind of feel like I owe a lot of it to you, or it's a God thing, but I don't know. I'm just so grateful. Like, I really don't know what, like, now my following is like built off Turning Point girlies and cute conservative girlies and like seeing everyone at America Fest and YWLS. And it's the most beautiful thing.
I can't wait for America Fest this year.
It's going to be unreal.
We have not even talked about this yet. Because see, what's so cool is like I had Emily on the show and then we just became friends in real life. But America Fest tickets are selling so fast, and we're already like surpassing numbers of like total that we sold last year, and we're only in, I mean, at the time we're recording this, it's like September. I think this episode comes out in October, but it's like we're thinking we might have to even do a bigger venue, which we're already in a massive venue because we do it in the convention center. We do it in the convention center. I think we might have to go bigger. So I don't know what this is going to look like, but I will say, you know, and I didn't know you were going to bring this up, but like, if you are wanting to go to America Fest, which is the biggest Turning Point event that we do, and it's also family friendly, like your whole family can go and stuff, the week before Christmas. It is, I would get your tickets because, I mean, at some point we're going to reach max capacity for any venue here in Phoenix. So yeah, it's just wild. So I think you can get those at amfest.com. I think you can use code Alex or Alex Clark to get a discount on your general admission tickets.
It was the coolest thing last year. It really was. YWLS is incredible, but like at America Fest, the energy is insane.
I mean, it's just huge.
I live in a very liberal area in the Bay Area in California. I have never been in a room or even in a place with that many like-minded people where, you know, like everyone around you is like you relate to and you share beliefs with and you feel like safe. And you're like,
and I mean, what's crazy is last year we were celebrating Trump winning. And I didn't get to go to America Fest last year because it was like a couple days after my dad died. So I wasn't there. And I was so bummed to miss it because I was like, dude, we just won the election. Like, this is so exciting. I was so sad. And then this year now, it's like we're celebrating Charlie Kirk's life and then also mourning him and just a whole nother thing. And I'm like, just so crazy, but like definitely not a year you want to miss. Anyway, that being said, I'm just so happy that we met and that, in an indirect way, it is Charlie brought us together.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Tell us about Balance Babe Blueprint, how you have helped over 20,000 women balance their hormones.
When I got off birth control and started to balance my hormones, I didn't have a plan. I didn't know. My doctor told me, this is normal. Here's birth control. Like no one had the information. And so I basically was my own guinea pig. And so I kind of had to trial and error, figure it out over the course of like, it probably took me a year and a half to balance my hormones. And now I have women like following my course doing it in like 3 months. So it really is like a fast track to balancing your hormones, but it focuses on everything because your hormones are a symphony, okay? Like you can't play whack-a-mole like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on cortisol. I'm just gonna focus on estrogen. They all work together. And if one is off, they're all gonna be off. And so I really just created like a holistic approach through diet and lifestyle and like detoxing. And my course goes over metabolism, gut health, nutrition, cycle tracking. I have a ton of master classes in there, a ton of trainings. I have one on cycle syncing.
It's very in-depth
like,
and very well done.
I put everything in there. And it's just like, I price it really low because I've never did this for money. Like my only goal was ever to help women. And I'm like, I want to make all of this as accessible as possible to as many women. And so it's why I share a ton on my podcast. I go on podcasts. I give so much information on my Instagram alone. Like you can do so much with just the information in my reels, in my posts and stuff like that.
So where do you find the Balance Babe Blueprint?
So you can go it's on my Instagram. If you just go in my little link tree, it's in there. I also have a free masterclass that you can watch the free masterclass. The Balance Babe Blueprint is there. You can learn more. I have a ton of other trainings, but they're all inside the Balance Babe Blueprint. So if you get that one, you literally have everything. I'm actually in the process of redoing it, rebranding it, revamping it. I'm adding a fertility module. I'm adding like prepping for pregnancy. I'm adding even stuff I feel like on marriage. I just want to like make it a one-stop shop for like everything that you can come for whatever you need. And you can basically use it as a resource for your whole life.
And what's your Instagram?
My Instagram is Little Ray of Health.
R-A-E.
R-A-E. Like Little Ray of Sunshine, but Little Ray of Health.
If you could offer one remedy to heal a sick culture, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, what would it be?
I kept thinking about this because before, Shauna just said like, Jesus. And I was like, true. I feel like it's living more like your grandma. Like, I know it sounds kind of weird and boring, but take up weird, obscure hobbies. Start knitting. Start doing grandma stuff. Start gardening. One thing I was thinking about this morning, I've never seen my grandma in a hurry. I've never seen that woman rush. I've never seen her act like, oh no, gotta get dinner on the table, gotta do this, gotta do that. Like, she does it all so gracefully, did it all so gracefully. I witnessed growing up and like, never in a hurry. And I feel like we're always in a hurry now. There's always some place we have to go or there's not enough hours in the day, but there are enough hours for the right things. So I think like living more like your grandma.
I love it. Emily, my special friend. Thanks for coming on Culture Apothecary. Now, you have been the only guest that I have had on 3 times. You've been on twice when it was called The Spillover. Now you've been on Culture Apothecary. So congratulations. You are the first guest to hit that milestone in all of my guests.
I'm so honored. I am so honored. This is my favorite podcast.
It's because you are so popular. My audience loves you. And now, we have so many new people that may not be, familiar with you that I wanted to introduce you to. So I'm happy that you got to come.
Thank you. And I hope you guys all come over to Instagram, say hi to me on Instagram. I'm always on there. And I just love to hear from everyone.
That meme on TikTok that's like, my Shayla. That's how I am with Emily. My Emily. I love her. She's such a sweet friend in my life. And I know that you guys love her. So I was so happy to have her back. She is my first guest ever to come back 3 times. I just am so proud of her and she's killing it. So if you have any major period questions, hormone questions, birth control questions, Emily's a good girl to DM on Instagram, so you should do that. Please leave a 5-star review for this episode. Tell others why Culture Apothecary is your favorite podcast. We're on a mission to heal a sick culture, physically, emotionally, and spiritually twice a week. Mondays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm Alex Clark, and this is Culture Apothecary.